Oh my gosh, what happened to Duchess? Well, I am about to tell you what happened to me, but I haven't been posting or whatever. You feel me?
I don't make a recipe so I can be married. Oh, yeah, so the actual wheat. I don't make a recipe so I can be married. Actual wheat.
So what have happened to Duchess? Why she did not post for so long? Well, I was volunteering at a high school working with mainly 11th and 12th graders. So I was basically a teacher assistant and um, teacher assistant slash mentor, where, like I said, I was mainly helping the juniors and seniors, making sure they was on the right track for graduation, keeping them focused on their classes, and I also sometimes worked with ninth graders and 10th graders. And I actually love doing that because the kids actually looked up to me. Okay, so originally I was thinking, okay, let me go back. Originally, I went to school for criminal justice. I got my bachelor's degree. And what I wanted to do originally was to work with juveniles and basically mentor them to keep them out of trouble, off the streets, getting locked up, what have you. So I was introduced to this position. Like I said, it was a volunteering position, and I applied. But when I applied, I applied in May of 2024. I did not get a response until I want to say July 2024. And I received an email. Basically, I forgot exactly what it said in the email, but basically I was hired to be a volunteer or whatever. So I go to orientation and everything, and I tell my supervisor at the time that because of my disability, I be having personal issues like once a month, and also every few months I have to go somewhere for my medical appointments. So I had told her all that. She said, okay, that was fine. So I start the job. Well, yeah, the volunteering or whatever. And I'm in there. I'm like the first week of school. I was like nervous, like really nervous, right? So kids coming to school. Kids coming in the classroom looking at me all crazy or whatever. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I go around the classroom introducing myself to all the kids, and it was a few kids from the first week that we didn't really see eye to eye, or they're looking more at my disability than me as a teacher assistant slash mentor slash teacher or whatever. So they had their own, you know how kids are, they be picking and stuff like that. So I paid them no mind. And it was a few other students that wasn't doing any work at all. They would just sleep like the whole class. So the school year going on. So probably like around October, I think the same kids that was sleeping in class and the other kids that was picking, they weren't doing their work neither. So I just started ignoring them. I wasn't even going towards them, helping them, making sure they do their work, whatever. I won't even worry about it. Mind you, they were seniors. So I just say to myself, like, do you? If you don't graduate, that's on y'all. Okay. So the ones that was sleeping, it was like I went to them and I was like, what's going on? You haven't been doing no work. You're a senior. This your last school year, so you need to buckle down. And he explained to me that he's always tired or whatever, what have you. So I made a deal with him, and I was, well, no, not, well, I had asked him, I was like, do you like coffee? And he said, yeah, I love coffee. So I made a deal with him, and I was like, if I give you a cup of coffee every class, will you do your work? And he was like, yeah. So I went to the other room and got him a cup of coffee and everything, but we didn't have no sugar, no cream, or no nothing. So I gave him the coffee, and he said it was disgusting, which I knew he would because, like I said, we didn't have anything to sweeten the coffee. So he started doing his work. So probably like a few weeks in, he was up like doing his work, doing like what he's supposed to be doing. He was doing good for a while. So the the other kids that I wasn't really getting along with, they started like respecting me as a teacher. So they had this thing called a blitz. Okay, well, the class that I was in, it was a class called Ingenuity. Ingenuity is when, for the ones that don't know, Ingenuity is when the kids, if they failed like a class the year before, this class let them make up that class that they failed. So, um, the school year was getting close to break or whatever, um, Christmas break and stuff like that. So they did like this blitz, the blitz thing. So we all the classes go to the library that's in the ingenuity class. There's 7 different classes that used to come in and out. So all 7 classes, they was in that library. So the it was his girl. She always wanted to be on the phone. Always wanted to be on the phone. So she was like, Miss, can you come sit back here with me? I don't want to be back there. I mean, I don't want to be up front with everybody else. Can you come to like towards the back of the library with me or whatever? I said, okay, as long as you do some work and less phone time. She said, okay. Then next thing you know, a few other students came back. So the teacher, she noticed that the other students was walking back, and she told the students, she was like, y'all cannot sit back there or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So the students was like, well, she's back here with us. Ain't that right, miss? Talking to me. And I'm like, are y'all gonna do some work for real? They said, yes, we got you. I said, okay. The first moment y'all ain't doing the work, y'all playing around, y'all gonna go back up to the front. So they said, okay, miss. So the head teacher, she was like, so you got them? I said, yeah. And I go to the back of the library with the rest of with like, I think it was like maybe 10, 15 kids back there in the back. So one of the kids had asked me a question, and I didn't know the answer to it. So I went up to the front before I can get to the teacher. Well, before the teachers could notice me, I heard them saying, "Oh, those kids ain't gonna do nothing with Miss or whatever," talking about me. So I went and asked a question to the teachers, and then I went back. I'm talking to the kids, back to the kids. I'm like, y'all really need to do some work because they talking like y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all, this is a waste of time. Y'all need to make me look good. They said, okay, miss. So one of the students from when I told you that was like picking, like being disrespectful towards me, he called me towards him. He was like, "Miss, can you go give me a bag of chips because the little blitz program for the kids in the library, they had like little snacks for the students that would complete a class, and they can get a snack or a certain amount of assignments, then they can get a snack." So the student was like, "Miss, can you go give me a snack because they'll give it to you or whatever. You're a teacher, they'll give it to you." So I was like, "You asked me for a favor after you've been disrespecting me the whole school year?" He was like, "I know, miss. I'm sorry." Blah 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 blah. He was like, "Do you forgive me?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, "But you still ain't gonna get no snack right now until you complete an assignment." He was like, "Miss, look at my progress. I've been doing my work." So I looked, and he was. So I was like, "All right." So I went and got him a snack. And after that day, me and him was tight. Like, if other students was giving me a hard time and he seen it, he would tell them, like, "No, you ain't gonna do that to Miss. Like, she cool. She alright. She cool." So going back to, well, not going back, but after break, we go back to school or whatever, and I had a coworker. Never mind, I'm not gonna say that part. But um, so long story short, I really did enjoy myself because the students, they respected me as a teacher. Um, every student I worked with, from the sophomores, from the freshmen to the seniors, and I tell you, every student I worked with, mind you, it was 7 different periods, but every student I worked with, they passed all their classes. They asked me, the freshmen through the juniors, they asked me if I was gonna be back next year. I told them no, and I'm not gonna explain that to y'all what happened, but no, I would not be going back next year. But I'm just so ecstatic because from the beginning I didn't think that I could do it, but I did, and the kids love me. Like, they absolutely love me. I went to graduation, and all the seniors I worked with through the whole school year, all of them came and found me and gave me hugs, and I'm wishing them the best in life and everything. It's just saddening because I found out that one of my students that I worked with, he was a good kid, like an absolutely good kid, respectful and everything. I just found out that he he was not at graduation, but he graduated, but he was not at graduation, and he could be looking at time, and up, upset me, because it's like, you let me down. You say you're gonna do what you gotta do in life, and you did something stupid. I don't know the situation, but you possibly look at some time, and that's what I did not want. But I guess that's life. It is life. So I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope whatever he's going through, he can make it through and have a better outcome. But yeah, that's where I've been, and I wasn't gonna wake up like 4:30 in the morning, be up all day, record, edit, all that. I won't gonna do that. I won't gonna do that. I won't gonna be posting after me waking up 4:30 in the morning every morning, Monday through Friday. No. And then the weekends, I be tired. So that's where your girl been. I've been volunteering at a high school, working with these high schoolers that I loved. And then every Sunday I go to church. So yeah, that's where I've been. But I'm back, and I'm doing some courses right now. I don't really want to talk about it to you all right now until I get my certification. But your girl is doing good, and I plan on posting a little more, but not like I used to, but just a little more, so y'all can see my face, and so I can do some more podcasts for y'all, because I know y'all miss the podcasts. I've been getting inboxes asking me when I'm going to post another podcast. So this is my next podcast, and just let me know how y'all enjoyed this podcast, and let me know what you want to hear on my next podcast, because if you all let me know, that give me encouragements on doing another podcast for y'all. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Love y'all. It's your girl Duchess.